Hi, I'm Jeff Moss, also known as the Dark Tangent, and the founder and creator of both DEF CON, the largest hacking conference in the world with maybe 30,000 people, last time we did it in person last year, pre-COVID, and Black Hat, one of the world's largest information security conferences. So between the two of them, I've spent my life mostly focused on either hacking or on InfoSec. You can hear that in the background. I'm trapped right now in Singapore, recording this when I would rather be there live, kicking off the event. But I have a couple ideas I want to share with you, and I want to really thank you for inviting me. It's been a while since I've talked to anybody in the high school or the middle school area interested in cybersecurity or hacking. So I've got a couple of thoughts, tell you a little bit about my history and why I think what you're doing now is so exciting, and why the next decade, they say, is going to be the decade of tech. And in that decade of tech, people like you are going to become really important. So let me give you a couple of thoughts. When I started back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, over 30 years ago, in hacking, there's a couple of things I realize now, looking back, that were so important to me. And they taught me basically everything I needed to know about my life was through hacking. For example, I learned that knowledge is king. Right? What I knew, what I didn't know, I had to understand what I didn't know to understand where to go find the information to learn it, if I really needed to. Right? So understanding what you know and what you don't know, really important, because you can't really fake it. It's kind of hard in the hacking scene to pretend you know something when you don't. You'll get called out, you'll run across a real expert, and then the game's up, right? You can't fake it anymore. But on the other hand, it was okay to ask for help. The whole community was built around finding mentors. I spent a lot of my youth trying to find other people willing to teach me. And I think that rubbed off on me, because as I grew up and started DEF CON, it was all about essentially teaching the next generation of hackers. I didn't know it at the time that's really what I was doing, but in hindsight, that's essentially what I was doing, building a community of hackers, academics, researchers, people who break things, fix things, and then getting them to tell everybody else what they discovered and teach them. Right? That's a big part of what you're going to do for the rest of your life, explaining what it is, how you do what you do to other people. And a large part of that, I found out, is who you know. And I don't mean that in sort of the transactional sense. I mean that in the sense that you will never know it all. And if you're trying to solve a problem, it's multifaceted. You're going to need to find other experts that will teach you, help you out, right? You're doing that right now probably on your team. You can't be the single person executing and defending against attacks. You need a group of people to help you out. And so you have to become a team player. You have to know the right people. And the corollary to that is you have to trust the right people. So I became really adept at trying to determine, is somebody trustworthy? Do I tell them a secret about a new exploit or vulnerability or something new that's coming up, some rumor that I heard? You quickly figure out who's on your side and who's not, who you can trust with important information, who you can't. And that's a skill that'll be important for the rest of your life. Because really, your reputation that you're building now, that you've started building, you might not think much of it now, but in 10 years, you're going to realize that your reputation is the most valuable thing you've got. Right? It takes you forever to build it. It takes years to build a good reputation. You can lose that reputation in a couple of bad tweets, right? It's slow to build and quick to go away. But that reputation is like your first impression. People will have heard of your work or heard about how you participated on a winning team, maybe much earlier than ever meeting you. So I would find in the hacking scene, people would come up to me and say, hey, I know I can tell you this, and I know you're not going to tell everybody because I heard from these 3 other people that you're trustworthy. That was fantastic. I didn't have to convince them. They just knew because of my reputation. But because of that, also, it means there's no real quick wins, right? You can't really cheat. If you do something, word will get out, and then your reputation will take a hit. So just know that. No matter how tempting it is now, reputation, really important. And then finally, it's about about doing things that people tell you that can't be done. I'm trying to think of a good way to put this. manufacturers will tell you, you can't break into this product. Lawyers might say, well, no, that's illegal to unlock the door. But you might think it's still possible, and you might want to show them. And so we've seen this forever with hackers, right? Hacking insulin pumps that the medical industry said couldn't be hacked. Smart cars that couldn't be hacked. Locks couldn't be hacked. We have access control system, aerospace. We just had a hack-a-sat contest at DEF CON, right? Your whole future, you're going to be doing things that people tell you that can't be done. And as exciting that is, you have to also understand that people generally fear what they don't understand. So a large part of what you'll end up doing at some point is explaining to people why it is you can do what you do, because you're trying to dispel the fear. If people are fearful, they'll pass all kinds of crazy laws that will make technology research very difficult. So where I'm going with this is your future is going to be really exciting. And one reason is the future, next decade, they're calling the decade of tech. And you thought you had tech before this. You haven't seen anything yet. This next decade will be smart everything, AI, everything, computerized policy everywhere. And in that world, people that can research it, reveal vulnerabilities, are going to become incredibly valuable. Let me give you an example. Companies don't tell you really what the vulnerabilities are in their products. Organized criminals don't tell you how they're breaking in and stealing things. Governments don't tell you what's vulnerable for a number of reasons. Maybe they're using it, maybe they don't want to embarrass a company, but it really comes down to us, hackers, researchers, and academics, to look at the technology and explain to people what is possible, what is not possible, what should be the policy response. Does the AI algorithm have a bias? Is that important? Is the airplane certified to fly? Is it safe enough? Whatever it is, technology vulnerabilities have historically always been disclosed by us. And that's kind of scary. We're acting as the white blood cells for a society. We're kind of the immunity system, telling people, yeah, Ring might say they're safe as a doorbell, but in reality, look at these past 10 vulnerabilities, right? Maybe not so safe. Don't let your uncle buy it and install it. So that function will become even more critical as more and more of society goes online. And then finally, the good news is, because of this, you've got a job for life if you want, right? Employment for life. But the bad news is you've got employment for life. And so it's going to be really important for you to manage burnout. Think about it this way. You're not fighting to solve cybersecurity. You're not going to get into this field and fix it, solve everything. But what you're going to do is you're going to get in here and you're going to make fantastic contributions. You're going to make products safer for citizens. You're going to maybe help policymakers pass better laws to help everybody. You're going to do things with real impact for society. And you're going to work toward making cybersecurity safer, make the society and the technology safer. But you're not going to solve it. And that's okay, because nobody's asking you to solve it. We're just all looking at you as the next generation of hackers and researchers that are going to deeply understand this technology, and you're going to work to make the world a better place. And no pressure, but I'm counting on you. So with that said, it's best of luck to all the teams competing in the CCIC 2020 this year. And I hope to meet you all at some future event, because we couldn't meet in person this year. If we do see each other in person, I want you to come up and say hello. So congratulations for making it this far, and best of luck.